DeVon, thank you so much for being here. Glad to chat with you today about Flamin' Hot. How are you?
Oh man, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. Honored to be here.
Absolutely. DeVon, start off. How did you become familiar with Richard's story? When was the first time you heard about it?
I heard about Richard's story about at this point almost 7 years ago. I was introduced to him by a mutual friend, and my friend texted me and said, "Hey, I have your next movie." And if I believe that, you know, I'd have made a lot more movies by this point, because most of the time people say it and it just is not true. But in this instance, I said, okay. And so he connected me with Richard. I had Richard and his wife, Judy, come to my office. And as I just said, tell me your story. And as Richard told me his story, by the end of it, I was almost in tears. And I just said, I've got to bring this story to the big screen. I thought it was so inspirational. I thought it was so unique. It almost had like a Forrest Gump quality to it. So I was just, inspired by it. And that's what, motivated me to want to, get this movie made.
Absolutely. You've said in other interviews that when Eva Longoria came in to talk about the film and kind of pitch her idea for it, that you knew right away that she was the one to kind of take this across the finish line. What was it about Eva that really kind of drove this home for you?
She had a very strong understanding of what the movie needed to be. And, whenever I'm doing a film, whenever I'm producing a movie, one of the things I'm always looking at is like, okay, does the director not only understand what the movie is about in terms of the plot, but does the director understand what the movie is about in terms of theme? And Eva understood the theme. She understood, how to make it better. She understood the authenticity and the specificity of this culture and community. And also she, understood humor. I mean, she's really funny, which is great. So it was that rare combination of humor and heart, along with the cultural specificity, that let me know that she was the director. At that point in time, she had only directed, episodic television.
Right.
So certainly it was a leap of faith, to believe that without having done a feature before, that she could do it. But I believed in her. I believed in her vision. I believed in who she is as a person, and had no problem, advocating for her with the studio. And ultimately, her director's presentation with the studio put it over the top. And we were grateful to have her, direct such a great film.
Absolutely. What is it about the story in Flamin' Hot that you felt like needed to be told? Why was this the film that you felt like needed to be brought to the masses?
I'm in this business for inspiration. When what I mean by that is, I'm the middle child of three boys, and my father passed away when I was 9 years old of a heart attack when he was 36, and my mother didn't have, money for therapy. If anything, we were actually on welfare, believe it or not. And the only way that we made it through was going to church and watching movies and television shows. So entertainment really served a great purpose in my life, and helped save me to a degree. And I felt like I want to be a part of this industry to bring hope. And that has been my mission statement from day one. And I've been in this industry at this point, going on 26, 27 years. And so when it came to Flamin' Hot, when I heard the story, I said, this is it. This is why I'm here. This is what I'm here to do. I'm here to tell true stories that are inspirational, because I have no, knock on superhero movies. They're great. But, you can't, put on a suit that makes you have superhuman speed and go through your city and save it. You can't do that. But you can watch a movie like Flamin' Hot and see the true story of Richard Montañez and be inspired and get strategy on how to navigate your life. So I felt like this story was going to connect with audiences around the world and provide real-time hope that I believe is needed right now.
That's excellent. And what, aside from the real-time hope, what do you hope that audiences are going to take from this film?
Yeah, I mean that all things are possible to those who believe. That's what I want people to take away. I mean, Richard started as a janitor working for Frito Lay and had this idea, not only to put chili powder on a Cheeto, but to appeal to his community as a way to save the factory. Jobs were being lost. The factory wasn't doing well. And he said, the reason why we're not doing well is because we're not appealing to our community, to my community. And so Richard, took the spicy product, marketed it to his community. And what we now know as Flamin' Hot became history. When people see this film, I want them to take away that possibility. I want them to take away, it's not about your title. It's about your vision, you have for your life. I want people to take away service. Richard wasn't trying to create $1 billion brand. He was just trying to serve his factory. He was just trying to save jobs. And in the process, he did something that has united a culture and a community. So those are some of the takeaways. And then also love wins. I mean, when you see the film, there's a powerful love story between Richard and his wife, Judy. And I want people to believe in love after they see this film and see the power of it.
I'm glad you brought that up, because aside from the perseverance of Richard and, finding the phone number, making the call, trying to figure out the best recipe here with Judy was really in his corner the entire time. And I think that that's really just as, important as a story. We have a lot of movies that have these subplots, but that was such a strong piece of Richard's story. And without Judy, Richard probably wouldn't be where he is today.
No, it's not a probable. It is a definite. Richard would not be where he is today. He would have not, made the contributions he's made. He would have not, made history as one of the top, Latino executives in corporate America if it wasn't for Judy. And, her love, her support, her encouragement. And in the film, Annie Gonzalez does a brilliant job of bringing Judy Montañez to life. And, she's so strong. And, you see the support system is essential, for Richard's success. And he attributes his success to Judy. There's a line in the film that says, if you want to get through this life, get yourself a Judy. And I agree with that. And every time I see that part of the movie, it just inspires me, because having that level of support in life, I think, is one of the greatest gifts we could have.
And the very last line is, Judy never left his side. So
yes,
important piece, exactly. Very important piece. That's
very important piece.
In working with, Richard and Judy to understand the story, what was their involvement in the film, but then also their reaction to the film?
Yes, their involvement was a lot. I mean, they were intimately involved the entire way through, from, when we did the pitch. Myself. So once I gave them the yes that I wanted to make the film, we had to then put together a pitch that we then went out to different studios in Hollywood to find a buyer. And so I worked with Lewis Collick, who was a writer I was working with at the time, and I pitched him the movie and he liked it. And then so we sat down with Richard and Judy to work on crafting the pitch. Sure. And then so once we went to pitch the film, Richard and Judy went to every pitch. We had 3 studios that bid on the pitch. We ultimately decided to go with Searchlight. And through the process of developing the script, they were involved. And then once I hired Eva to come on board, we then brought on Linda Yvette Chavez to do the rewrites. And Richard and Judy participated in that process. They read scripts along the way. They came to set, multiple times. They've been out on the promotional trail. And so their response is one of amazement. During this process, there were many times when I had to tell Richard, just trust me. Trust me. Number one, it's going to happen, and it's going to happen well. For me, this is a movie, but for him, it's his life. So I take that very seriously. And so there were times I said, Richard, you just got to trust me. I promise you we're going to get there. And so now, to be here and for the movie to be in the shape that it's in, and people responding to it, they're extremely happy. And it's a dream come true.
That's excellent. And, I think that's what the movie itself is too, and depicts a dream coming true. It depicts success, and it depicts the perseverance of a family. Before we get going, DeVon, I want to ask, you got to end with a silly question here, right? Because you're going to be getting questions all day, similar to what I've been asking. If you had to come up with your own idea for a new flavor for Cheetos, Doritos, whatever it may be, popcorn, what would it be?
Oh man, what would it be? Look, my favorite, dessert in the world, my favorite flavor is lemon. So, we lemon Cheetos. How about that? Some lemon Doritos,
Mixing it up a little bit there.
I'd love to know what that would taste like. You know what I mean? Kind of the sour and the sweet. That might be interesting.
Yeah, right. Very different, very different. DeVon, congrats on the movie. Thanks for taking the time today, and hopefully we'll see more from you soon.
Awesome. I look forward to it. Thanks so much.